everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Combating the Coronavirus Naturally. So I'm continuing today to talk about our diet. I'm sure many of you are sick of it, but there's a very good reason why I'm concentrating so heavily on using our diet as medicine for us at this time. And that's because one, we have to eat and our food is still readily available to us. And second of all, it's because our digestive system is absolutely central to our health and well-being. Our digestive system accounts for about 70% of our immunity, and it is also intimately involved with our mental and emotional well-being. Recent years have shown that our gut is responsible for how we feel psychologically, and that's because at least 90% of our serotonin, which is one of our feel-good hormones, is actually synthesized by our gut. So at this time when we're all pretty much stressed out mentally and emotionally with what's going on, well, there's no more an important time than to keep our gut as healthy as we can. So hence all these videos. So the best analogy I can probably give is to think of your digestive system like the engine in a machine. So if you think of your body as the machine, then your digestive system is the engine that runs that machine. So if we think, for instance, of a car, and obviously we have diesel cars and we have electric cars now, and we also have petrol cars. And obviously it's really important that we put the right fuel into the car. So you could do something like I did a couple of months ago, which was pretty silly, but I was coming home from work one night and needless to say, the fuel gauge lit. I'm pretty bad at just allowing it to go to empty. And I stopped in the garage, completely distracted, thinking about some of the clients I had seen during the day. And yeah, you know exactly where the story is going. I actually started to put petrol into my diesel car. So what I learned that night is that from somebody who's in the know, who I had to ring at 10:30 to get the information, and that is that the car could have actually taken a small amount of the petrol in the engine as long as I diluted it with enough of the diesel. And that's pretty much the way we should think of our digestive system. The engine will still run and you can get away with it as long as 90% of the time you're putting in the right sort of fuel. Then obviously you can have the odd blowout, or you can put in the odd 10% of the foods, the kind of naughty foods as we think about them, or the foods that maybe don't agree with us too much. And the engine will still keep running and you shouldn't do irreparable damage. But when you start actually swinging it towards maybe putting 20, 30, 40 or 50% of the wrong sort of fuel into the engine, then obviously there's going to be consequences and the engine isn't going to run very well. So like a car engine, it likes to be warm. Loads of us will find that when we start our engines in the morning, it takes it a while to warm up. And our stomachs are pretty much, and our digestive systems are pretty much the same. What we want to do is start the day nice and warm. So one of the kindest things we can do in the morning is start our day with something like warm water with some fresh ginger in it. You can always add a little bit of lemon and local honey to for a bit of flavour, and also because those things are your digestive system really likes them. That should be followed with a warm breakfast if possible. So if you're having something like a porridge, you could add spices to it, warming spices such as cinnamon or nutmeg. Cinnamon is my favourite, which is why it always comes to mind. Or if you could go for a breakfast that's protein based, such as an omelette, which you could add spinach to, or maybe some smoked salmon. So speaking of what we should be eating, which is obviously a diet of whole foods, which would be heavy on, basically based on primarily fresh fruit and veg, and then supplemented with whole grains and also with some animal products such as eggs and some fish and red meat. So the nutrients that are contained in our foods are really important. Spinach is actually the most nutrient dense food that we actually have. It contains a number of vitamins such as vitamin C and E, as well as a number of antioxidants called flavonoids and carotenoids. Okay, so antioxidants I mentioned in my last video, and they're really important to keep the body healthy at a cellular level, because basically what they do is reduce levels of oxidative stress, and oxidative stress is actually what damages our cells. So if we can introduce antioxidants into our diet through our foods, it keeps the oxidative stress levels down, and this is really good for our overall health. Other foods that are very high in antioxidants would be turmeric, which contains the component curcumin, which has an antioxidant and also anti-inflammatory effect. Broccoli is very high in antioxidants, which are the antioxidants that they contain are sulforaphanes. And then you have our berries, such as blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, and also grapes, which contain a flavonoid called anthocyanine. Now, anthocyanins are really good because they're also very good for our heart health. What they do is they help to reduce cholesterol. They increase our HDLs, our high density lipoproteins, and they lower our LDLs, which are the low density lipoproteins, which are the bad cholesterol. Also, actually, a 2016 study showed that blueberries have an essential role in respiratory tract immune defense, so really important at this time. Vitamin C has been shown to be very effective in combating the coronavirus and the effects of the coronavirus. And amazingly enough, we all think of oranges and citrus fruits when it comes to vitamin C, but in fact